much, but that's okay. I'm here and I'm happy.
Mia, do you know what this episode is?
What?
Episode 10!
Oh shit!
Of Small Talk.
We've done 10 of these already?
Of Small Talk.
Small talk. We need a theme song.
Small Talk.
Hey everybody, I'm Roger Lopez, and I'm here on Small Talk with the great Lila Hart and Mia Mars.
Yay! And of course, Puppy.
The nameless dog.
Damn, Roger's so good at this. It's almost like he's been on 2 other shows.
Roger Lopez, I'm so excited that you're fighting me on Small Talk.
Oh, thank you guys so
You
much.
look amazing here.
You too, man. Look at that. You got nice curls, you know? You guys.
We did. We used my
Genetics
hair.
here, guys. Genetics. Even the dog has beautiful, luscious.
So, Roger, tell us where you're from.
I'm from West LA.
Where? Me
What?
too.
You from West Los Angeles? What part?
I grew up in Playa del Rey, Westchester. I went to school in El Segundo, Venice area, Mar Vista, that area.
Alright, the first 3 cities were too west for me. The last 3, Mar Vista, is more around where I'm at. Like, I'm in the shitty part of Culver City, so that's where I've been.
That's so crazy that you grew up here in California.
Yeah, Culver City. I was from around there too. What high school did you go to?
I went to Hamilton High over at Robertson.
Really?
Oh shit, my cousin goes there.
Yeah, I think you told me.
Do you know Rio Sanchez?
Nah, man, I don't know people from there, man. I know my lady, Jessica, and the homies who live like 2 houses away from me, and that's about it. 2 apartments, we don't live in houses.
Hamilton High alumni.
Yeah.
So, how long have you been doing stand-up comedy?
This May will be 3 years, so
What?
yeah, 3 years doing stand-up. It's been the best thing in my life.
Ditto. And you run a mic called Roger's Mic.
Roger that.
Roger's that. Why didn't call it? Roger that.
It is Roger's Mic, and it's called Roger That.
At Next Stage.
Yeah, at the Next Stage Theater over on Sunset La Brea are the biggest cross streets. Starts at 11:30. Yeah, homegirls are regulars who always rock the mic, so I appreciate you guys coming.
It's my favorite mic.
It's honestly one of my favorite too, because you can get baked as fuck.
Woo! That's what I'm talking about, guys. Usually Monday through Thursday, they don't want you smoking there. But
Nope.
on Fridays,
Friday.
you know, you can come inside and smoke weed.
Yes, which is great because it's been raining like fuck lately.
Yeah, it's rainy as fuck, and then I also got free tecates too.
He
so.
does.
Oh, nice.
I know.
Sponsored by Tecate, right?
Sponsored
Yeah,
by
we're
Tecate.
actually sponsored by Tecate, unofficial but official.
So, how'd you get into comedy?
That's a good question, man. I was a big fan of comedy. You know, I grew up watching like George Lopez's special where he was at the Gibson Amphitheater, where it was. I saw Killing Them Softly by Dave Chappelle. That was like a big one. And, you know, some Mencia too, man. I thought Mencia was fucking rocking. You know?
Okay, I have to say that too. When I remember being in middle school and watching Mine and Mencia, like that's what I would always watch, and like that's honestly what I loved stand-up comedy from watching his show.
Mine and Mencia, I love that show. I mean, same thing in middle school. The main catchphrase was "dee-dee-dee," and then you'd always say that. And then now people are like, "You fucking, what are you retarded?" But yeah.
So you've been doing comedy for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
When did you get like the bug, the courage to like do it?
Man, honestly, I never thought about doing comedy. I was just a fan. I'd go to the store. I'd go to all these shows for free. And then my buddy, he was like, "Hey man, you're funny. You should try comedy." I'm like, "Me?" He was like, "Yeah, dude." He was like, "You're the funniest guy I know." And I was like, and then I started telling people, I was like, "Yo, I think I'm gonna be a comedian." And then since then, I started telling people here and there, and then it was my buddies. My buddy came back from boot camp, you know, and then his dad had everybody say something, you know, to like the party, and then everybody was like, "Yeah, Roger, go say something." And then whatever I said, it was like humorous, and then the last part, I was like, "All right," since he was going back to war, I was like, "All right, don't die." And then the whole audience of his family was like, "What the fuck did he just say?"
Can we please point out that Roger Lopez is the very first guest on Small Talk to ever roll a blunt?
Really? Am I the
Yes.
first
On
one?
camera, yeah.
Oh, it's because I came ill prepared. It should already be.
That's so funny. How long have you been smoking?
I was smoking not too long either. I started at 18, so it's pretty late for my community. Like all the homies started at 14, It's because when they were outside, I was inside playing like RuneScape, StarCraft.
Oh my
Yo, I
God.
used to play that.
RuneScape.
I used to play RuneScape too. Obsessed with RuneScape.
Oh, you too?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, I just have to talk about this. So
Yeah, please.
when I was like 13, I was on RuneScape all the time, and you know how you could like talk to people and be like friends with them, and they're from different states. Like I had like my first like online boyfriend was this guy on RuneScape, and he was from California, and I remember we'd like talk all the time and be like, oh, like I have to go do laundry, and like. Anyways, so like I'd wait. My little character would wait for his little character because his mom would be telling him to like go do stuff.
Aw, that's so nice, man. I think that was me.
Oh my gosh.
I think that's the first white chick I ever dated on RuneScape. The one and only, dude. Not even real.
It's so funny. No, I loved RuneScape, Sims, all those games.
I never got into Sims. I saw a lot of people mess with Sims because you can build your own like society.
Dude, The Sims. I didn't get really into The Sims until like college because my friend and I, we used to do a bunch of ketamine and then go play The Sims.
Damn! I used to get fucking wrecked.
Just play ketamine and play The Sims. Play ketamine. Do ketamine in the garage, then go upstairs and play The Sims.
Damn, it sounds like you're reliving that as you tell it.
Oh yeah, I totally am.
No, man.
Flashbacks!
It's crazy. What's the craziest drug you've done?
Oh my goodness.
I mean, you don't gotta say.
I've done all sorts of stuff, but I'm sober now, so I haven't smoked.
I know,
in 9
man.
months.
She's great, man. She's still a party, has a great party personality that's fun and energetic without the beer, the alcohol, the you know what I'm saying, the drugs.
But you know,
It's just caffeine.
yeah, I do like coffee. I try to just have one coffee a day. That's my one addictive behavior that I'm. Yeah.
That ain't nothing. One coffee a day is fine, right?
Yeah, it is fine.
Yeah, there's no problem with that. It's not an addiction.
I don't care if you're addicted to it. I am too.
And so is he.
Please
Okay,
don't tell
have
me
a
he has a
seat.
little boner again. Okay, thank
He
God.
always has a boner.
He always has, this dog always has a boner.
Especially when he's sitting next to us.
I think he's just happy.
He's happy. So,
Oh shit, Happy's a good name for the dog.
That's us. Yeah, Bull, you found it, man. He's always happy.
Shit.
There you go. Because
Happy.
they were gonna name it Bogo after buy one get one at Wheat Stores.
Weed dealers, but yes.
Exactly. They should name it Happy because it's always happy, you know.
Yeah, he's
well,
always
I will say this. When I was in college, there was a time that I smoked every day my senior year of college. Like, that's all I did. Like, so I didn't drink. I didn't really drink coffee. I just was, like, getting high all the time. And it helped me through a period of my life because I wasn't really, like, eating very well. So, like, smoking helped me eat. And there was a lot of, like, positive effects to it.
Oh, to the weed smoking? Yeah, man. That's really good, man. I've only had the bad effects where I don't eat because I want to smoke. You know what I'm saying? But
what about during the cancer? Jeez.
Oh, yeah, man. Yo, how
Way to bring up the cancer.
I-
So
what-
you had cancer?
Yes. I never waited to tag it. When you had cancer?
Smooth segue.
I was gonna make a whole like story
Sorry,
about
it's
how I
just-
lost my nut. You know, I was gonna say like an eel fucking bit it when I was swimming.
Sorry,
Yeah.
it's just because I found out my dad has cancer too. So.
Oh, now the show gets even better. Fuck, dude. Well, Tony, you gotta take care of me. A lot of
I know. I
lot
think I'm gonna be his official,
caretaker.
like not caretaker, but chemo driver.
Well, yeah, you got him, man. He's dying. You have to. Like, yeah, you gotta be his driver. You better be his driver. Shit, dude. Fuck.
Yes, but here's the thing: my dad can afford to do better than me. So
What do you mean? He don't need better. He needs family. Yeah, that's what it is. He don't.
Yeah.
He can hire a chauffeur. He can hire.
well, I'm gonna be officially taking care of him. Like, you know, got a nice new car too, so it's perfect.
Oh my gosh.
You know, like make sure he's like, you know, snugged in or whatever. You know, make sure there's like, I don't know, medicine or I don't know.
You know what? You
Can
know what,
you get
man?
like codeine and a like drip bag? That'd be awesome.
No.
Did you go through chemotherapy? I want to hear about your cancer.
Yeah, thank God I did not go through any chemo because I had the cancer. Well, we basically
How
caught
did
it
you
quick
find
enough.
the cancer? I
Cancer.
want to know about all of that.
Man, it was a Sunday evening. I was hanging out on the couch just like this. And then it was like around 7, so I'm just scratching my sack, and then like, no disrespect, So I swear I'm scratching, and then like I feel the right one. It feels like it's just it's an uneven scratch, and then that's when I touch the right one. I'm like, oh no, this is like it has no give, like how a ball should have. So I went to my bathroom, and then that's when I really like got deep, like really felt it, like when I was standing up. And then it felt like a rock, like the right nut. And then that's immediately when I got scared. I was like, oh, this is the worst thing ever. I looked it up immediately. And
you Googled it?
Yeah, Googled it.
Oh, shit, you use Google.
Yeah, of course, yeah. My nose is like rock hard. So like I look it up on Google, and I'm praying to God. I think so. I'm praying to God it's just a cyst. Like it's just a bunch of fluid that accumulated and just needs to come out through antibiotics. But man, I went to the doctor the next day. I didn't even go to a real doctor. I went to a real doctor, but he works at the clinic by the LA Fitness. So how real is he as a doctor? No, he's great. I forgot his name already, but
Shout out to that clinic.
Shout out to the clinic because he was smart. He was like, well, he wasn't really smart because I had a cough too, and he was like, yeah, we don't need to worry about the cough. We just need to worry about the nut. And then the cough ended up being bronchitis. So, that motherfucker didn't know nothing. So like, he tells me like, yeah, go see my friend down in downtown. Go see a urologist, but before you do, go get an ultrasound on your nuts. And then I got the ultrasound, took it to the urologist in downtown, same day, all the same day. So it was on Monday because it was a Sunday when I found out. And then that's when the urologist found my nut, and then he was the first one to tell me like, yeah, we're not doing a biopsy, we got to do surgery.
Oh my gosh! Did they remove it that day?
No, I didn't have no insurance. But more importantly, like, he didn't even know I had bronchitis. So, like, the next day, no, man, it's so fucked up, man. So he told me, like, hey, since you're a little sick, we're going to give you, like, 2 weeks before we have surgery on you. And he told me it's going to be, like, $7,500. And 2 weeks passes by, but during the 2 weeks, like, I just started getting worse and worse. And then I had a fever, like, 102 or something, for, like, 2 nights in a row. And my dad, and that day I had just gone to get Medi-Cal, like emergency Medi-Cal for the nut. And then, thank God I got the emergency Medi-Cal because that night when I had another fever of 102, my dad just looked at me. He was like, yeah, I got to take you to the hospital, man. I'm going to take you, like, he takes me to the ER by the house. And then that's when they're like, yeah, your nut's like this, that's it. But you also have bronchitis. And I'm like, what, really? He's like, yeah, you got to take care of it. And then that's when I called the other doctor from downtown. I'm like, hey, I have bronchitis. He's like, yeah, you're going to need to give it a long time before we can take care of it. But then a week after my bronchitis treatment, that's when the Kaiser Hospital by my house called me. And they were like, yo, so how's your bronchitis? I'm like, oh, it's gotten better, thank God, right? He's also like, do you want to take care of that whole nut thing here with us? And I'm like, can I? And he's like, yeah, we'd have to do everything all over, like the photos and everything, but we can do it here. And I'm like, I would love to have it here. And we set a date. It was like February 7th. I didn't get it removed till March 14th. So I had a cancer for like about over a month.
And how's everything now?
I'm cancer free. Yay! There we go. Hell yeah.
You know, that is so scary to have surgery, especially like at this age. Like I've had a lot of surgery because of my spina bifida, but I only have one ovary too, so we kind of match one nut, one ovary. And I went to, this was like January of last year. I had like a weird stomach pain, and my period was like really weird. And I remember I was having these like really bad cramps, and I was at the Hollywood Improv, and I was supposed to do a show, and I like performed, and after I got off stage, I like got to my car, I was like profusely sweating and crawled into my bedroom, right? Like when I unlocked the door to my house, I like was crawling into my bedroom and I fell asleep. I woke up in the morning and everything was fine. Well, the next day I was like, oh, that was just a little stomach pain, but a day after that I was like, yo, I should probably like really get this checked out. So I just went to like this clinic. I get to the clinic, they do an ultrasound, and the lady, she goes, you have a cyst in here, and if you don't take it out, it's gonna burst and kill you. And my first thought was, well, how much is this gonna cost me?
Yeah.
Right? Like, how much is it cost? And she like told me that I needed to pay the clinic like $2,000. And I remember like sitting there in the clinic being like, yo, I don't have this money. And then like crying and be like, am I really not going to get this handled? Because I was like, it's my life, yo. Like, it's my life. It doesn't fucking matter. It's my life, you know? So then I went to the, they sent me to the ER. And when I got to the ER, I went to the wrong one at first, and it was like there was like a bunch of people in there, and this one like homeless guy sits next to me. He's like, "Yo, I've been in here for 14 hours," and I was like, "Oh no, this is bad. I need to leave." So then I ended up going to this different ER, and the lady was like, "Well, are you in pain?" And I was like, "No," and she's like, "Well, then you shouldn't be here." And I was like, "I know, but the clinic told me that if I don't get this thing removed, like it's gonna erupt and it's gonna kill me, right?"
Yeah.
So then they let me in, they do this ultrasound, and I'm telling the nurses, and I'm telling the doctors the situation, and they do this ultrasound, right? And the doctor comes running down the hospital, and he goes, "We're prepping you for surgery. You're gonna have surgery like right now in the next 4 hours. We're not gonna be able to save the ovary."
Yeah.
And I just remember having to FaceTime my mom. My mom got on a flight. And I was in the hospital for like 3 weeks.
Damn, didn't even expect it. You were walking alone.
I had to relearn how to walk again. I didn't know if I was gonna be able to walk normally. Like I actually have this like crazy footage of me walking in a walker, and you know,
I want that footage.
You know,
it just sounds really creepy and beautiful. I like it.
I'm walking. See, I'm a cute little lady. That's funny.
It's cute. Get it, girl.
The weird thing is, looking back onto onto the videos of me like learning how to walk again. It's so crazy how that's kind of what led me into like my sobriety lifestyle, is that I just like want to take care of myself and want to take care of my health, like almost like really like losing my life in a sense.
Hitting rock bottom.
Oh, I had like a blood clot in my leg, all sorts of stuff. Like I used to smoke cigarettes too, so I could quit doing all of that. And it's just like it's almost like I had to go through that, you know? Life is really weird. And it's this weird, like beautiful mess, but you go through these things and then you come out of it, and we're able to sit here on this couch and have the small talk that turns into a deep talk about cancer.
Yeah, man, it's great.
Small talk, cancer.
I forgot who I forgot.
Hashtag PanCan.
I forgot where I read this quote or who I heard it from, but basically it said if it doesn't really, really mess you up like forever, then it only makes you stronger.
Right. And I believe that 100%. Like I really do believe that in these times of pain, like you do come out of it stronger. Because I think about my life where it is right now, and there are moments where I'm like, oh, I'm not where I want to be, and I feel sad, and I feel like I'm not good enough. But then I think about where I was this time last year. I was like, yo, this time last year I had to relearn how to walk. This time last year I was just trying to figure out how to be healthy again, you know? So the fact that I get to sit on this couch with you and with Mia and have this show and talk about overcoming all this stuff, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And we're fucking comedians, yo.
Oh, what?
We're comedians, so not only do we get to experience this stuff, like
we get to make each other laugh about it.
Yes,
too.
and we get to laugh through the pain. You know?
And it helps us too, man. It helps us, just let go if we had anything to let go of, when we're on stage. Just talk about all that good shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, yours is crazier than mine though, because I felt like, I had cancer, they took that off, but yours was like urgent, then you had to learn how to rewalk, and then it took 3 weeks. Like, for me, I was just on Vicodin for 2 days, like walking like a grandpa.
Did you feel like when I was on the when I had to take Percocet, and I felt like when I was on the Percocet and kind of going in and out of like the pain, like I saw demons, yo. Like I saw some weird. I saw some weird shit. Like because they say like when you're kind of in that like place where you're teetering between life and death, you can kind of see stuff. Not trying to be like crazy here, but like I saw some shit.
Dang, saw some demons.
I'm not trying to go back there.
Yeah, me neither, man. I was taking the Vicodin, and again, your shit was way worse. But the worst that it got for me is like the second day taking Vicodin, my lips would go numb, like the bottom one especially, and that's when I was like, I'm alright. Yeah, but yours is like, fuck that, dude.
And so how long ago was this?
Man, you saying like a year ago, you being grateful that for me it's been like March 14th until I lost the nut. It's March, was it 20th today?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's only been, this time last year I was still like walking like this, like it was still a hard life, man.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
made it.
We did
We
make
made it a
it.
whole year smoking blunts now, juice. Great. Small talk. Me and Mars. Love Lila Hart.
Oh, so how long have you been running Roger That mic? It's seriously my favorite mic.
Hey, thank you very much.
No, I'm actually making some art. I just gotta pick it up from my mom's house.
Oh yeah.
Like, Mia's the best art director, isn't
yeah.
she?
Mia is the best art director, man.
Hire me, bitches.
Yo,
That's right.
Exactly.
I make all this shit.
There has never been a show Mia Mars has fucked up, man. She's made everyone better. She's made them all beautiful,
Aw.
fantastic. When we had Garage Mic, well, no, you made something for Garage Mic.
I made a bunch of
A
shit for
bunch
Garage
of shit,
Mic. Like
yeah.
Garage Mic.
And now the
I-
High Tonight Show.
And now the High Tonight Show. Garage Mic. Victor was the one that like let me express myself. He was like, yeah, just hang it up in the garage. He was like, yeah, just hang it up in the garage. And you know, then I started getting artsy, and then you know, I'm like, well, thank you for this. I'm gonna make Garage Mic sign. I did the sign. I did these weed bottles for him. I made another weed bottle set, but it's just around his son's crib.
That's ridiculous.
I make a lot of weed bottle lights. And I did the High Tonight Show sign, the original one that fucking Nolan threw away.
He threw it away with a dick.
Well, he said it's long gone.
The
I'm
new
like,
one's better, I will say.
Oh,
The-
really?
Hey, look, your skills have only gotten better.
Oh,
So
thank you.
definitely, it's,
Oh, this dog likes
Oh, no.
you.
Yeah, I'm getting
Yeah,
better
it's
at
like
making
love,
songs out of
man.
garbage.
you know, Mia, your dog loves me. She brings great things. You know, look at this, Mia's dog. I was just petting my my old lady's boss's dog, which is my dog, because I see it more than the boss.
And what kind of dog is it?
Oh, it's a beautiful. I think it's like a boxer. It's like white. It's like, you know what I'm saying. Her name's Betty.
Boxers are pretty big dogs.
So, how long have you been with your girlfriend?
Oh, I've been with my old lady. It'll be 8 years this May. So a lot of anniversaries in May.
Yeah.
That's so funny that you say my old lady.
Yeah, I started thinking about it. I was like, I think I should. I told my old lady, I was like, I think I should start calling you my young lady. Because she's not like, she's only 23, we're both the same age. You know
No, but I like my old lady because it sounds like very 1970s and you're very Cheech and Chong looking, you know?
I mean, I guess it depends. If I'm talking to a young crowd, I think I'm going to switch it up to younger lady. But the older people, they're like, oh, you're old lady? I'm like, yeah, you know how it is. They're like, oh, yeah.
I think it sounds sweet. It sounds like forever. It's your old lady, because she'll be your old lady eventually.
Yeah, definitely. She always talks about getting married and stuff like that. So.
Oh,
She's beautiful. She's awesome. She's the best. Yo, Lila. So what's up? Did your chances get lower of having a baby because of the?
Well, you could still have a baby with one ovary.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's the reason I did decide to get sober, is because of that factor.
Oh,
you
because
know,
other
just
things
to-
could fuck with the.
Yeah, don't
chances.
worry about the smoke. You're like, oh, that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, let me smell
I'm like, it's flowing right
Can we
in my
open the
face.
window?
No, we're good. No, you can still have a baby with one ovary, and because that was actually the really scary thing. Is I remember like laying there in the hospital bed right before the surgery and like crying about it. And it's a weird thing because you know when you're growing up, you never really think about like, do I want to have children? And then when the option gets removed from you or possibly removed from you, then it's like this like pain of loss, but it's not. You don't even know what's gonna happen. You know.
Yeah, I
But-
feel like you lose like some memories that you think you would like to have.
Yes, that's exactly what it was. And then, but I, the doctor did assure me that you can still have a baby with one ovary, and I've done a lot of research and like read a lot of articles about people who successfully had babies with one ovary and have gone through like some of the same surgery that I went through. And looking back at it now, in retrospect, it's like I'm grateful that I went through the surgery because as a comedian, I feel like this story just makes me be able to connect with an even wider audience, because the cyst on my ovary could have happened to anybody. So it's that's why I think that these things that happen in our lives, like it just makes us better comedians. When you go through these life circumstances, it gives you more of a story to tell, and you can just connect with your audience on a deeper level.
It gives you more material. That's about it. It gives you more outlet, more things to say.
And then that's the beauty of comedy. It's like shitty things happen, but because we're comedians, it's just a new bit.
Yeah, it's a new killer bit.
No, I'm not gonna lie. When, like a few days later, after I found out my dad had cancer, I kind of thought to myself, "Fuck, I'm gonna get so much fucking writing done. I'm gonna think of so many new jokes."
About what? Your dad dying? What the fuck, Mia?
No.
God damn!
I met my dad becoming a survivor. I
Oh my God, Mia, you, oh my God.
Papa Mars has money.
Well, okay. Well, here's the thing. That is a good point because me and you, we ain't had shit. We still here, right?
Oh yeah, we ain't got nothing. Man. My dad almost died.
Like
a
that's
month
why I'm like
ago.
I'm good
Yeah,
now.
how did your dad almost die?
I'm like,
Oh,
oh shit, they survived. They're okay. Yeah, my dad's 62, but he's got like money
Your
and
dad's-
cedar cyanide.
Your dad should be. Oh come on, he's still young too. 62 is not that old. Mia Mars. Yo, my dad almost died recently because he had uncontrolled diabetes. He was like, he went to Mexico, didn't give a fuck, came back with like a blood sugar of almost a coma level. He also had pneumonia, which he accumulated water in his lungs. So he was in the hospital with a tube in his back. So I was basically taking care of him, I'm still taking care of him. I'm making sure like I'm kind of disciplining him in a way like, yo man, you gotta check your blood pressure like every 4 hours because he goes from like 11 to 7 without checking. And then yeah man, but he's broke as fuck, has no money, and I love him so much. Mia Mars, you gotta take care of your pops, money or not.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm like, Dad, you can afford to do better than me, but then I realized
It's the family that he wants.
Yeah.
He can have. I'm telling you, he can have probably.
I'm gonna be the person that takes him to chemo, and then brings him back from chemo.
You know what's fucked up? I think I'm telling Mia to do this because my girlfriend's bosses are rich, dude, and the guy, his mom, he lives with them, right? The whole family. His mom has cancer. She's got it, right? And my girlfriend is the one that takes her to chemo. I don't think he's ever taken her to chemo. You know, just obviously he goes to tour, he goes on vacation. When he's here, he has to do this and that. He's like, he has responsibilities to do, but he's also not making time for his mom. And then my girlfriend and me, and she notices more because she's with her. She needs her mom. Fuck Mia, you need to see your pops. You should after this, you call him and be like, hey Dad, you know what? I love you, man. I hope you get better. I'm praying
Should we
for
call him now?
No, I'm alright.
No,
But
I get it. That's so true. It's like I think that at the end of the day, like spending time with people and your family is what's most important. Your family and your friends and the people that love you. It's like that's what I was thinking about earlier. I was like a little bit like feeling like weird and off today, and I just thought to myself like there was a time last year where like I was alone all the time and. You know, life, we get so caught up in like, I have to do this and I have to do this and I have to do this. And it's like, no, we get to do this. We get to sit on this couch and talk about this kind of stuff and be together. And that's freaking awesome.
That's amazing, dude.
Fantastic. Don't you love when I say fantastic? Fantastic.
I like to think about this. This is probably one of my favorite shows to be on because nowhere else could I just occasionally pause in the middle of it and be like, Lila's so cool. She's like, and then I'll just be like,
I want to say to you this. So if you were watching this, you're gonna watch this in 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you want to say to your future self in 5 years? And it could be anything that you want.
I hope you stop fucking around. That's a big one, you know. I feel like as comedians, we're all kind of keep ourselves back in one way or another. Some of us don't, and I guess those are the best. But even the best, sometimes you hear they have crutches, like so-and-so will do this for like so-and-so hours, but just whatever, man. We like just things in our life that are distractions. So I'll just, don't be as distracted. I hope you're not as distracted, cocksucker. That's the thing.
I think that you're gonna continue to do Roger that, Mike, and that consistency is gonna get you somewhere.
Roger is the king of the Friday night mic. He always has been, and he always will be.
Thank you so much, man. Fuck flappers. You heard it.
It's free, and he smokes you out. It is free, and he smokes you out, and he gives you a Tecate. It is the best fucking mic. He gives you lots of stage time. It's really supportive and chill. Like, there have been times where, like, I got too stoned and forgot what I was gonna say, and I still was like, fuck yeah. Like, no, seriously. He always calls me a badass. He's the only person that calls me a badass, and I want to die a badass. I want that on my tombstone. I want to someday just achieve badass, you know? I gotta do something really fucking cool.
Well, let's put this on the record too for future Roger, man.
Yes.
If Mia, she's gonna die when she's 1,000, right? But let's say I'm there with her and she dies before me. But if they didn't put badass on her grave, I'll go over there and like graffiti it in like some like mark it, you know, like just engrave it with like some fucking metal shit.
That's sweet.
That
She's
is
a
some
badass forever. There you go. And so
that is some ghetto ass shit, and I approve.
He just said he was going to graffiti your grave.
Well,
But
here's
in
the
a
thing.
loving way. should go. I know 2 friends who have died already, and I haven't seen their graves yet, man. I should go. I don't know. I should not graffiti, but put like a nice little touch, you know.
What is your favorite? What is your favorite quote?
Man, this is not my favorite, but this is the only one that comes to mind when you said that. The main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing.
The main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. So
That can be interpreted. in
fuck
many ways.
details.
So many ways. I got it from a sticker from Brian Holtzman. I was watching him in the main room, and he was like, "Who wants these fucking stickers?" I'm like, "I'll take the stickers, man."
The main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing.
I think it's important.
Remember the big dream and keep going.
Oh, could you talk about that time when you were you were like going through the cancer and you were just taking an insane amount of edibles before you did Mike's?
Ooh, yeah.
And
Okay,
like
tell
and
us
then
that
that
scene.
night or like you unlocked your powers and like jumped up a couple levels. I remember
Just like,
I remember this, dude. You were fucking in fuego that night. In which time I killed, bro?
yeah, man, I've been at this 3 years. It's like every other set. What you talking about? I bought a lot, dude. Yeah, man, when I was going through the cancer at first, I had given up smoking because the bronchitis kept me from smoking if I wanted to get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also it was around Lent because soon it's going to be Lent. So I was like, I'm going to see I can just keep up this no smoking, right? Because I smoked for too long and it's fucked up my lungs, and that's probably why I got bronchitis. So I stopped smoking for like 2 months, dude. But in those 2 months, I started eating like 500 milligrams of THC, just the beautiful shit. My shop by my house, well, they started charging sales, but it's still not too bad. For $10, you would get a 250 like moon like fucking bar, which is like a similar bar. And then I would eat like 2-3 of those motherfuckers. I go to Garage Mike, you know, where Victor Martinez runs his shit, and I'd just be so fucked up, like super fucked up, just so chinky eyes, just so high, like really like fuck, dude. So check it out, man. So apparently, like Eric says, I had some like Jesus Jehovah sets at the Garage Mic when I was just out of it. I don't even remember it because I was just so high, and then I was high so many of those weeks that I was like not smoking. I was just taking edibles, so I was just really like talking a lot of shit, man. Talking a lot of good shit. I remember that. So I think edibles are a big reason why the cancer didn't spread in my body. Because I had the nut still for a month and a half. Like the cancer nut. I had it.
The nut.
So I was thinking.
Did you get to keep it?
Yeah, they sent it to me through FedEx.
Wait, no, they didn't.
Yeah, they did, dude.
Where is it?
It's in. Oh, well, that day I went to the Santa Monica Pier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I just took it with me, right? I took my nut with me. I had gotten it that day, so I went to the pier, and then I went to the edge of the pier, and it was like during sunset, and it looked beautiful, right? So I just looked at my nut, and I was like, man, why do I want it, right? You tried to kill me.
Aww.
So I know, man. So, but I gave it a nice ending. I fucking all this Mexican might, I just fucking swung it into the sunset.
You swung your nut into the
As far as I could, like I really stretched my hand out like really far, like that.
Oh my god,
Wait,
this is the
wait,
most
wait,
amazing
wait, wait,
story I've
wait,
ever heard.
Wait.
This is
Number
amazing.
one, they let you keep your nut.
They sent it to me.
They
FedEx.
sent it to him in FedEx, and then he did a ceremonial release into the ocean.
Dude,
That's amazing.
I would have kept that shit in a jar.
Of course, Mia.
Dude, that would be like the crown jewel of my fucking collection.
I love that. I love the ceremony of what you did.
Thank you.
I think that's amazing. That's something I would throw the nut into the ocean.
Yeah.
I like the symbolism of the sunset and like releasing and be like, you tried to kill me and now I'm stronger.
Number
Yeah,
two.
yeah, I'm just releasing it.
Number two, at the Santa Monica Pier. That is the nastiest fucking beach.
Yeah, that's true, man. You didn't give it
As
a nice.
a local,
Well, fuck it, they tried to
as a
kill me.
local, you're a local, I'm a local, let's face it. If you've ever been to the Santa Monica beach, there are dead pigeons in the water all the fucking time.
Well, then that could add to the.
You know,
Dead pigeons
wait,
that like died choking on hot dog on a stick.
one of them
Sticks.
died choking on this nut.
Amazing.
Oh my god.
This segment is called I Love LA with Mia Mars. Mia is going to tell us a story, Roger. So be excited.
Well,
So, man.
a story. All right, I'm going to tell you about Youngwood Court. Now, you're a local. I'm a local. Do you remember, how familiar are you with Hancock Park?
I've
It's
heard
a
about
very ritzy neighborhood.
it. Nah.
All right. Well, in Hancock Park, this nice ritzy neighborhood that's really tasteful and just pretty and beautiful, and it blends into the landscape. It's by like a golf course and shit. There is the god ugliest thing to have ever faced LA. It was called Youngwood Court, and it was the most famous thing was its 19 statues of David.
David, the naked statue.
19 of them?
19. I don't know why not 20. 20 was overkill. But it just kept growing and growing. That's just one of the main things. There was Italian busts, there were like pillars. It was painted cocaine white.
What part of LA is this?
Well, unfortunately, like your nutsack, it's gone.
Really? The part of LA is not there?
It's gone. It was owned by this R&B singer named Norwood Young.
Youngwood Court.
You ever heard of him? I've never heard of him either. But
And now it's gone. Wait.
Oh, I thought that's somebody's house, though, right?
that was his house.
Oh,
The R&B singer.
Oh.
And then when they finally took a look inside for open house because he was gonna sell it, there was furniture hanging from the ceiling.
Oh.
Now that's tacky. I don't care what anyone says. Don't have shit hanging from the ceiling like a plant. You're not a fucking plant. You're a person. Sit on the furniture. God damn it.
Huh. You know what? You're right, Mia Mark. But I think at a point you get so much money, you're like, put that shit on the ceiling.
Right?
Yeah. Because look, he's making the music in his house. He comes out high as fuck on acid, whatever, and then he sees the couch on the ceiling. Oh, that makes it good. You know, it adds to the experience.
Actually, that does sound pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah, when you have a lot of money, you start doing cool shit.
You know what I would love? I would love to have like Chuck E. Cheese, but for adults on acid, so it's just really chill. You know, maybe there's a bunch of water beds or some shit. You know, it would just be a place where, you know, like you can safely trip the fuck out.
Eric, I would not tell you. I think that's his room. It's condensed, but
That's hilarious.
I can't remember the last time I actually bought weed. I just buy Abinante food instead, and he smokes me out.
Shout out.
Shout out to
shout
Abinante.
out to the producer, Channel 310, making this all happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yay!
He's
Well,
still right
thank
here.
you.
So
We love him, though, even though he looks like a caveman.
How
He's a
dare you.
caveman.
He looks like the first Jewish caveman.
Did you enjoy it? This segment?
Well, would you like to know more about...
This motherfucker?
There's more.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, there's more. There's statues of David inside, too.
So he had more than 18.
He had so many. It was a...
What was the
tacky
obsession with the statues of David?
I do not know. Oh, but you know what I do love? Is all of his neighbors hated it. And he was still like, he went on the record of LA Times saying, I don't give a fuck what my neighbors think.
Exactly.
That just goes to show you to do what you want, live how you want to live. It probably made him so happy.
It did. And he dressed him up for the holidays. Look,
Wait, no, continue. I'm sorry.
when I was a kid, I had to suddenly move to El Segundo after my house flooded with raw sewage.
Were you in the house for that thing you told me?
I was the only one in home.
Oh, fuck.
The shit tsunami. Anyways, or the flood, as I call it.
Whoa. You ever think your dad did
During
that?
the flood, I suddenly had to move to El Segundo, and my dad bought these 2 fiberglass cows. I used to get egged all the fucking time going home from school because I was the one that lived in the creepy cow house. And I was like, man, this sucks. And then I learned about that guy.
Mm.
And he just said, I don't give a fuck what my neighbors think. And then it got tore down in 2014. Wasn't that the same year you lost your nut?
No, that's last year, 2017.
What? It was only last year?
Yeah, man,
Have
where
you
you
been
been?
listening?
Where you been, Mia Mars? God damn, dude. I'm trying to say, and then
I know you keep saying 1 year. I've been seeing you like you counted down.
I've done a comedy set, fucking.
Oh, like a million of them.
And then
I
I talk about my old lady for the whole set, right? 8 years I've been with her.
Hey,
right?
I know it was 8 years.
I have a little Q&A after my set, Mia Mars. You got? Do you surprise any new ladies with that nut? I've been my old lady 8 years, man.
Okay.
Whoa.
Everybody say bye.
Peace out.
And don't turn it off yet, Eric. I'm not ready. How do I look?
Amazing.